Now, in this section, I'm going to show you a more complex multi-section solid that's going to be very nice to see this. Let's go to Start menu, Mechanical Design, Part Design, and create a part. The part name is okay for this name. And now I'm going to create some more planes here. So first of all, I click on plane, or you can go to Start menu, to Mechanical Design, to Wireframe and Surface Design. And here you can create the planes that you need. But I guess the reference element toolset is here and I can use this. So I click on plane tool and it asks me what type of plane I'm going to create. Offset is okay. Now the reference plane is going to be XY. I'm going to create some planes in 50 millimeters distance from each other. So I want to have more planes. I'm not going to create planes one by one. I want to have more planes, and for this I click on repeat object after OK, and it tells me how many other planes you want to have except this one that you have created right now. I click OK and it tells me how many. I select two more planes. I want two more planes, so I click on OK. Now I have 3 planes created. So if you see this, I have created this plane and these 2 planes are created in addition to the plane that I have created first. So I have now 4 planes. The XY plane is the first plane that I'm going to create my profile line. So I go to XY plane, click on a sketch, and now I'm aligned to this. So I'm going to use a very simple profile like a circle here. So I create a circle, and that's going to be about 50 millimeters in diameter. So I click on constraint and make sure that the diameter or the radius is going to be 50. The diameter is going to be 100. So the radius is going to be 50, so I click on type in 50 and click OK. Now this is the first plane that I have a sketch on that. I open part body and you can see that there is a sketch 1, and I exit my workbench right now. I select the next plane here. This is the second plane. I go to sketch environment and I'm going to create another circle. This circle is going to have about 80 millimeters of radius. So I type in 80 in the constraint dialog box and hit OK. And I exit my workbench. Now I'm going to select the third plane. I go back to the sketch environment. I'm going to have a circle again here, and this is the circle that is going to have about 40 millimeters of radius. So I type in 40 in the dialog box and hit OK. And I exit, and again the fourth plane is going to be selected. Again, I come back to this environment, I center this in, and I'm going to have the smallest circle here. This circle is going to have about 20 millimeters of radius. So I exit my workbench. Now you can see that I have 4 different circles here, and I can select the multi-section solid tool to create a shape out of these sections. So if I click on this tool and select circles one by one in order, this is the third and this is the last one, and click the preview, you can see that this is the shape that it calculates for me. This is not what I desire, so I cancel this out and I want to have my own curve. My own curve is going to be a very complex curve, and I want to make sure that some places have some more constraints applied to them. So I go to YZ or ZX plane. Both of them are okay because they are perpendicular to the plane that I've been working with. So I click on YZ and go to sketch environment. Now I'm going to create a very simple spline here. Let's close this and click on spline, and I click here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the 7th point I double click to end the spline. So I have a spline with 7 points. If you can have more points, but 7 is okay for me. So I want to make sure that this spline has some common points with the circles, but these are separate sketches. The only thing that I can do is create some constraints here and make sure that they are the most adjacent I can do. So I go and click on the constraint tool, click on this point, the first point, and click on the vertical line and make sure that the distance is about 50 millimeters. This is the radius of this circle. So the second constraint that I need to add is this. I click on this point, click on the horizontal line, and I make sure that this is about 0 millimeters. So I make sure that these two are coincident to each other. I could not use coincidence constraint because these are separate sketches. If they were in one sketch, I could use coincidence constraint, but this is not possible here. So let's go to the other points. I select the constraint tool, select this point, select the vertical axis, and I make sure that this is about 80 millimeters for the second plane, and this is okay. And now again I select this and select this point, and I can select this and make sure that the distance is 0, or I can go and select the horizontal line and make sure that this is about 50 millimeters. Both are okay. So I go and type in 50. I want to have it from the baseline. So I have this again in coincidence. Let's go to the third point. I click on constraint tool here, and the vertical line is going to be about 40 millimeter for this plane. So I type in 40, and this was the radius of the circle that I had created in the third plane. So I click on constraint tool again, the point, make sure the point is selected, and now I'm going to select this. This is not going to be selected. Okay, so make sure that this is 0, for example. Or I can go and check this with the horizontal vector here. Now the last point is going to be selected. Make sure that this is about 20 millimeters away from the vertical axis and about 150 millimeters from the horizontal axis, or 0 from this circle. Both are okay. So I make it 150. So you have created this. You should make sure that whenever you rotate this, it doesn't create a cusp. That means it doesn't cut itself. So to do this, I'm going to select these points and move them to where I want. I can of course create some constraints for these, but this is okay right now. So this is the shape that I need to have, for example. Of course you can change this to your desire. Just make sure that it doesn't cut itself whenever it is going to be rotated. Now I exit my workbench and I check what I'm creating right now. So I click in a blank area to make sure nothing is selected. I go to insert menu, sketch base features, and multi-section solid. And now I select the circles one by one. This is first, second, third, and this is the fourth. And now I click on the lower pane on this ellipse and make sure that this is highlighted and select the curve that I have here. So if I click on preview, and if I have created the curve correctly, this is the shape that I am receiving. So this is kind of awkward shape. I don't want to have such thing. I need to have an exact copy of the curve in the other side. So I cancel this out again. Now I want to have such a curve in the other side so that whenever I'm rotating this, I create a very perfect shape. So how can I replicate this to the other side? I can modify this sketch and create a mirror in the other side. But this is not okay. If you do this, multi-section solid does not recognize them as two separate guys. So this is not okay. I need to have another sketch and have this replicated to that sketch. So this was in YZ plane. So I go again to YZ plane. And I'm not going to modify this, so I do not go to sketch 5 and modify the sketch. I'm going to YZ plane because I created this in that plane. I go to YZ plane again. I'm repeating this several times, and I click on a sketch. Now this is in sketch 5. I want to have an exact copy of this in YZ plane. So I go and select the project 3D elements from operations. I can go to insert menu, operations, and select the transformation in, not transformation I guess, in 3D geometry. I can select the project 3D elements from here. So I click on this. and I go and select the sketch 5 and tell this to create a new sketch out of this. So I click here, and now I have sketch 6 here. So this is exactly the same as sketch 5. Now that I have this, I want to move this to the other side. And to move this exactly, I need to use symmetry tool. I guess I have worked with symmetry tool, but if I have not, I can do this. I will select this sketch and go to operations toolbar and select the symmetry. It is near the mirror. Or you can go to insert, go to operations, go to transformation and select symmetry here. Symmetry is like mirror, but it is not creating another object. It just moves the object to the other side of the mirror. So I click symmetry, and now this is sketch, that is sketch 6 is selected. And now I click the center line, I mean the axis that I need for the symmetry. So I click on here, and you can see that the sketch 6 is moved to the other side. And this is the sketch 5 that I have used to project sketch 6 out of it. Now I have two different sketches with the curve that is exactly what I want. So I exit my workbench. I click on a blank area and select the multi-section solid tool. Now with upper pane selected and highlighted, I select the circles one by one. Now this is the third one and this is the last one in order. And now I make sure that the lower pane is highlighted by clicking on this ellipse in Guides tab, and now select the splines one by one. Now I have two guides, I have 4 sketches. I click on preview, and this is a perfect shape that I have created right now. So I click on OK, and this is what I have created using the multi-section solids. So you know how to create planes, how you can create extra planes, how you can use symmetry tool to create a mirror of your object, how you can use the project 3D elements, and a lot of other tools to create such a complex shape.